hello. Welcome back to the interview Diaries. This is Nicole Gabellini from Aurora Theatre. And with us tonight is Ryan Thornhill from Thornhill Theatre Space, artistic director. Thornhill Theatre Space is a digital social media platform for global theatre and has produced all of the events and directed a few that have been presented over the past year since they started. And in fact, Thornhill Theatre Space has just celebrated a year, and you guys have been so busy. So Ryan, welcome. Thank you for being with us today. Please tell us all about it. So first of all, where are you currently based?
First off, Nicole, thank you so much for having me today. I'm excited to sit down and have a chat with you. I actually just have been back home in my hometown for about a month now, in Pennsylvania, back in the States, after living 3 years teaching English in China. So I finished and wrapped that up. Now I'm back at home for some much needed family time.
Awesome. So Ryan, tell us how it all started. So you were in China when you were conceiving this idea. And if I'm not wrong, you were in Shenzhen, right?
Just up a little bit more north, Guangzhou.
Oh, Guangzhou. Okay. Either way, not too far from Hong Kong.
No,
so tell us how it all started.
Well, it was Chinese New Year, and I took the holiday and went up north to Beijing. I hadn't done the Great Wall or seen any of the capital or anything. So I decided, why not go there for Chinese New Year? And I walked the Great Wall the one day, and then the next day the news of the pandemic broke. So they had closed down the Great Wall that day. So I literally had just made it in time to get to walk on the Great Wall. But I'll tell you this, Beijing shut down with nobody outside was probably one of the most magical experiences ever, because it was just you in one of the biggest cities in the world. And it was actually made the Chinese New Year, little trip up there really great. But yeah, that happened, and it took them about a month or so to kind of get their grasp on it. And like I said, that was over Chinese New Year, so we were on holiday, so I was doing a few trips here and there, but it was when I got back and we were supposed to start the new semester that everything kind of got real serious. And in China, when the government tells you to stay home, you stay home. Yeah. And we were staying home. I was sitting in my apartment, not teaching, not doing anything. So my mind was just brewing, and I came up with this idea to kind of get back to theater because I had taken time off being a teacher. And I'm like, I'm sure people are writing plays. They're sitting at home. They've got to be writing plays. Or they have plays that they want to, hear read. So I decided to start a live stream series on Facebook where we would sit down and read new plays every week. And we would discuss with the actors and the playwrights afterwards. And I think we did about 12 weeks of that. And then I was lucky enough in China that after 4 months, everything kind of opened back up. Whereas everywhere else was kind of continued to be locked down. We opened back up. We were able to go back to work and all that. So I was full on both ways then with the theater company and teaching, but it just snowballed from there. We did a worldwide Fringe festival in August, and that's kind of what really set it off. That's what kind of got people knowing what we were, what we did. And we were able to feature, I think we did 36 days. And there was maybe 4 days in that whole 36 days that we didn't present an event. So yeah, it's just been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of work, but it keeps me busy and it keeps me going, and it's what I love to do. So I'm just constantly trying to push it forward and see what else we can do with it.
Well, this is a great idea because, of course, the whole world has been impacted. And while there is hope because, things are slowly reopening, the UK things in the UK are reopening. Hong Kong is easing the restrictions a bit. So the vaccines are being distributed. So there is hope for that. But we all know that to contain a pandemic, it will take time, even though, we do everything diligently and we're disciplined with vaccines and masks and whatnot. I'm pretty sure it will take quite a while. So this is a great idea to keep the arts going. and to go out there and give an opportunity to yourself as well as all the other artists out there who struggle because they can't perform, they cannot have their plays heard. And so this is great. And so you just celebrated a year anniversary, basically. Fantastic. So okay, so you've been busy with lots of different things. Now, what are you up to like now? And of course, like what's coming up?
Well, just to kind of maybe touch on what you said, how it takes time, it does. And what I don't think that people realize is us having a vaccine now, and a good vaccine that has had its time needed testing, but we also need to remember that's still really fast. That's still really fast for stuff like people got in gear and they did what they needed to do, but it's still fast. So we all need to keep in the back of our mind that people are doing what they can as fast as they can for all of us. And if it was to take more time, that would be understandable because you can't rush stuff like this. So with that, that's kind of my thing now where we're seeing vaccines in arms, we're seeing theaters open up, me trying to configure in my mind, how can I keep this going and keep it relevant once people are going to start buying their tickets to go back into theaters, which is why I'm trying to really try and keep the global aspect of it the main thing. And sometimes the only way to collaborate globally is this way. So that's going to be the real way that I push this forward, is to, and I'm not talking some full scale production of Les Miserables. I'm loving these, I'm like monologue festivals where we're just hearing the audio and just like fun, different digital things that I'm going to keep doing and I'm not going to stop. So the one that I want to talk about, the first one, and it's probably one I'm most excited about. I'm collaborating every Sunday morning, my time at 5 a.m. with a cast of Australian actors and actresses. And we're going to be doing a digital rehearsed reading. So it's one of the women that I featured, one of her musicals in my new musical Monday. She had another musical that she had written that she suggested and thought that it would be good for a digital reading just based on what the content is. So I took it and I run with it. We're in rehearsals now. So we're going to do some fun. The music is going to be sung and recorded in a different way than the dialogue's presented. And it's just going to be a fun visual experience. And we're just going to hear some great words and some good music. So we're going to start recording this weekend coming up. So we're excited about that.
Fantastic. I have deep admiration for anyone who can write musicals, like from the words, from the songs to the actual music. To me, it's something unbelievable. It's an unbelievable achievement to me. So bravo. Bravo, guys.
I'm excited to direct it and produce it and just get it out there. The cast has actually done a similar version of the script on stage before. So it's going to be a reunion, which is going to be fun. And I lived a year in Australia as well a few years back. So I have a deep admiration for the arts and the theater community, especially in Sydney. This group's from Brisbane.
Okay.
But yeah, I just adored the theater and art scene when I lived there. So I'm excited to be working with them.
Yeah. Right. Where did you live in Australia?
I lived in Sydney for a year. Yeah.
Me too. A bit over a year, actually. It was more a year and a half for me. But I loved Sydney. In fact, I came from Hong Kong from Sydney, and to me, it will always be my third home. So there is a great community of performers, artists to connect with, both in Melbourne and Sydney. But I'm more attached to Sydney for obvious reasons.
And I'm sure you'll understand this, especially if you did go see theater. Each suburb has their own community theater, yes. And it is brilliant because you can see anything at any point in time throughout the year that you want. I actually directed a musical for one of the suburbs community theaters when I was there.
Cool.
Which was great fun.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Excellent. So you also have a podcast, don't you?
Yeah. The way that I kind of looked at it is I'm going to start creating some original stuff specifically for the podcast, but I always thought of it when I first set it up as like just another outlet, just an audio version of everything. Because when I'm editing everything, I edited like a full-on audio version of everything anyways, just to have. So I guess I started thinking, especially with the new Musical Monday series, is it can work as a series and a podcast as well. So I throw quite a few things that I do video-wise on the podcast as well. And then it's a kind of another place for me when I do interviews. I can put the full interview unedited. Whereas when you're doing a video version of it, you kind of want to edit it down, make it within a certain time frame. But on the podcast, you can just put the whole thing. So yeah, it's there. I'm going to start working on it a bit more, just to kind of, because I just think it's fun. I love podcasts, so yeah.
No, podcasts like are pretty awesome. Like you find everything out there. So that's another a great way to connect and distribute some interesting work and connect with other people. So great. What about the Musical Mondays?
Yeah. So we actually just wrapped up our season 1 with that. That started as, so in November of last year, I did it's quite similar, a new musical November, where I took the whole month and I just did showcased features, little clips from different songs, or just, we're not giving away everything. We just want to kind of get the idea out there. And then when I did it in November, it was just something fun to do. But when I did it with the new Musical Monday with this 2021 season of ours, I decided to kind of reach out to producers on Twitter and make them aware of it, and just kind of have a little bit more feelers out there for people that could possibly want to use it as their season, and just making them aware of it, which I plan on doing. We're taking only a 3-week break, and then we're going to come back for season 2. I can't stop getting emails and messages from people, so I can't take too long of a break because we got to keep them coming because people want them. So but yeah, it's been fun. It's great. Musical theater is that's my thing, musical theater. As much as I love, working with really, really serious plays, I'm a musical theater guy. So that'll always hold a special place in my heart. So these have been really fun. And some of them you would think could have been produced back in the 60s or 70s with the tone of music that they are, which is really great. But some of them are people are thinking really outside of the box these days when they're writing music, like themes of tone and music styles when they're writing musicals. And I think it's fantastic.
That's great. That's excellent. All right. So Ryan, let's talk about COVID-19. When that happened, you were in China working as a teacher. So how did COVID-19 impact your life as an artist, or at a personal level?
This is going to sound actually quite strange, and people look at me quite funny when I bring it up. But for me as an artist, it actually brought me back to it.
I was going to say that.
It brought me back to it. It gave me. Now, let me tell you, I don't know how much you would know being in Hong Kong, but Chinese internet can be quite interesting to deal with.
Sure.
There's a lot of blocks. There's a lot of things you can't do. So there was a lot of stuff that I had to navigate around when setting this up. And that was always something that I knew from the very beginning. I talked to people about starting it and everything, and they're like, do you really think this is a good idea for you to start in China where the internet can be so unreliable? And I was like, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. There's nothing that's going to stop me. And then I did wind up having to start doing things pre-recorded instead of live, because things did start getting pretty bad where people would be cut out of the live stream. And I was like, that's just unprofessional and I don't like that. So I did start pre-recording things, but Facebook actually works really well because they have a premiere feature that works really like a Facebook Live, whereas the audience can interact with each other, but it's a pre-recorded uploaded video. So that's the kind of route that I started going down. But we're going to start couch readings again too, but I'm going to go back to it being live because the thrill and the rush of being a host, hearing that being read and then talking about it afterwards. And now that I'm back in more reliable internet, I think we're going to try that again. But yeah, it was, yeah, COVID actually, it was not a struggle for me as an artist. It brought me back to it, which I'm thankful for.
That's excellent. So, what are your plans for, like, let's say, after COVID-19? Let's say that once COVID has passed, what what would you like to do in terms of like projects? Where would you like to take your company? What would you like to do if like nothing was a constraint anymore?
Right. Well, like I had said before, I don't want this to end. This will always be my baby, my pet project that I've always been really, really passionate about. So I always want to kind of keep it going. I will say I'm working on getting a residency permit to the UK at the moment. So I'm hoping by the end of the year I'm going to be relocated there. And my dream goal is to open a physical, grungy underground style theater space in London. Um, so I kind of want to take this digital space and tack it onto it, but I very much want to keep it the way that it is as well. Um, so I guess selfishly, sometimes me doing these different plays or knowing about what new writing is out there and things, I'm thinking of my future as well. You know, what could I pull in and use in my company someday when I do have a physical space? But I very much do want to stay in the digital space because I've traveled for the past 10 years all around the world. And that traveling passion and my theater passion is all rolled into one with this company. So I want to keep it. And I just love talking and seeing what people are doing. I've talked to companies and worked with companies in Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines, Hong Kong, you know, a lot of Asian countries, which I've had a blast working with. And yeah, it's just been fun. So no, I don't foresee this. It may slow down a bit, but I don't foresee it going anywhere. So yeah.
I think like even though stages will reopen and the UK is definitely planning to reopen theaters and stuff like very soon if they haven't done it already. I
have
think,
tickets.
yeah.
I have tickets to go see Six when I go over there this summer. So, so yeah, they are opening back up.
So you are planning actually to go very soon.
I am. It's part of my visa requirements. I do have to go there for a couple months.
Oh,
But thank God it wound up being a couple months because I can do my quarantines on both sides of it, and that'll be fine. But yeah, just as part of quarantine requirements, or no, sorry, visa requirements, I do have to go there. So it's kind of exciting because that's going to be on the tail end of their reopening scheme, and you know it'll be interesting to see what it is. It's very different here in the US because we're controlled individually by states. So there's
yeah,
not one big cohesive plan. So
yeah.
everything's happening. So it's very different everywhere.
Right, yes. But even though, like, of course, like theaters, spaces will reopen soon, I think like the digital platforms that originated during COVID, you know, are there and should be there to stay. Because for one thing, we don't know what's going on, first of all. But second, if it's something that connects the world, you know, for free, where you can be connected, you can be seen, you can be visible, you can collaborate. Why not? Why changing it? Don't.
That's what it's all about for me. Like, and I'm talking accessibility is a huge word I like to use, and we're even going to try and push even more into it. We've tried captioning some of our productions so that deaf people can watch our productions. So we're trying to be really accessible, but that also goes to borders as well. Where we want to be accessible to people everywhere in the world, and except for places like China who don't have social media and stuff. You know, if you have the option to get your social media, that's how we want to connect each other. And it's not a hard thing to do. It is actually fairly quite easy, and I try to keep it that way. I try to keep it easy and simple, and let's just make it about the art, and let's hear some words, and let's listen to some music. And yeah.
Sure. Well, China is great to connect with China because like it's a huge, massive country and they do like their arts. They do like their, you know, like it's huge, it's massive, it's got lots of variety. And like it offers great opportunities. You just need to get the right channels. Like they do have social medias, only very different, like
Like
different system.
what the WeChat, yes.
WeChat, Baidu, and I think I forgot the name of the local YouTube. They do have like a platform.
Roku.
Which one?
No, not Roku. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't
I
remember.
forgot the name, but yeah, they have everything. Just like works a bit
Well,
differently.
I'll tell you this, Guangzhou, I've probably one of the most beautiful opera houses I've ever seen in the world.
Mm.
It's nestled right along the river, and the architect designed it to, from far away, look like river stones laying on the bed of the river. And I went and I saw a tour of the Wizard of Oz, just the OG Wizard of Oz, and when it was there and it was touring, and it was the funniest thing ever. A kid I went to university with, I was flipping through the program, and there he is, the cast. He's the scarecrow, and I'm like, that's so weird. I'm in China, so far away from the little town that I went to university in, and there's one of my friends that I went to school with.
Wow.
It was. But they get everything. Mamma Mia in Chinese. They rent was there, so they do get them. Up north, even more. I've seen more stuff. Shanghai, Beijing, but they have the big international tourists that come there.
Yes, yes. China is also very open about these kind of things. In fact, I was in Guangzhou performing maybe 3 years ago, about 3 years ago. And the way that they welcomed us, the way that they were open, and like we were doing like kids work. It was children's theater, which they appreciate immensely.
Absolutely.
And I saw some kids with the grandparents and parents, grandparents, and I said to them, like, "Does grandma understand?" And they go like, "No, they just like to watch things." Wow. Okay.
Well, that was another thing that I learned in the 3 years over there. Teaching English as a foreign language, the easiest and best way to do it is through drama.
Yes,
Through drama,
100% agree.
Like it would be dumb to not teach English as a foreign language to children through plays and skits and role play. And that's what I found out very quickly there. And that was the easiest thing. And it's not hard to come up with some tiny little skit for a little 6 or 7-year-old to do. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But they will be able to talk to you after you do it, because that's the conversational English that they need. We can sit there and we can teach them phonics, what a letter sounds like and things like that, but that's not going to help them talk to you. Let's sit down and do some role playing. And yeah, and that smacks you in the face when you go over there as a teacher, especially a teacher with a theatrical background. You understand very quickly that is the best way to pull from what you've studied, and it's actually a really great way to teach English as well.
Absolutely. Like it would be unwise not to use it, because like you really, it would make your life much easier for you as a teacher, but also like much easier for them as students. So win-win, really.
It's also a miraculous way to show results. So you invite the parents in, the kids do the little skit, and there you go. Well done, teacher. You've taught them what they need. You know what I mean? It's a really great way to show progress for kids who are learning a different language. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Ryan, if you are to go to the UK, especially to London, we shall talk later, because that's what I will probably be heading to at some point very soon. So
absolutely, that'd be amazing. Yeah.
Yes, we will connect face to face, hopefully.
Well, that's kind of the fun thing about this is I know that I could meet someone from somewhere around the world if I was to ever go visit, based on all the different people I've met, with this company. So that's, I think, is super cool. So that I'm excited to do some traveling in the future and possibly meet some of the people. So
fantastic. All righty. So let's talk about your favorite things in theater. So favorite task, favorite role in the theater for you?
I love the way that I feel on opening night as a director. I love the process from the first read through to the end. I love, being a teacher. And that's another thing I noticed a few years into directing, like that, those such transferable skills as a director to being a teacher. It's crazy. You're doing the same thing. You're just teaching somebody to act. And that's the main thing that I really love about it. I also enjoy the rush of opening night when I'm a stage manager as well. I am a very organized, binder focused, notebooks, planners. So I'm very much a stage manager in the way that I like to be extremely organized. So yeah, I mean, and when I look like to the future and I think to myself, when I first moved somewhere new, what do I want to do? A direct or stage manage? There's not one that outweighs the other. I would be just as happy doing either or. And I'm actually excited to jump back into doing some stage managing. Actually haven't done it in probably 7 years now. Yeah, so those are my two favorite things.
When you say stage manager, because the stage manager for the Brits is different from the stage manager for the Americans. So do you mean calling the show or be on the floor and coordinate?
Yeah, be calling the show.
Got it.
The run, but then also being that person with the binder that's this thick throughout the process, call and roll, giving line notes,
Yeah.
I guess I don't really. I worked at a summer camp in New York. It's where I met my partner, which is the reason I'm moving to the UK. But the stage management team at this summer camp, because it was a theater summer camp, it was always headed by one Brit and one American. So we always had the production stage managers were always both, so that we could have someone there to take after the American stage managers and someone to take after the British stage manager, because It is done differently. So we always have two there that kind of help keep everything, in line.
Yes, one is called the stage manager, which is like the floor person, and the other one is the deputy stage manager, which is the one in the booth. So yeah,
a bit different, yeah,
a little bit.
But yeah, okay. Directing, that's what I love to do.
Great. Okay, what is your favorite play?
Do musicals count, or are we just doing play?
No, I'll ask you later about musicals.
Play. I think probably one of the most interesting plays that I've ever read or ever was able to explore, and I actually got to direct. It was Edward Albee's The Goat, or Who is Sylvia?
Oh, classic.
Do you know that one?
Yeah, I watched it in Hong Kong many years ago.
Very bizarre story, but it was so much fun to explore the bizarreness of it, but still try to keep it real and not make it comedic, because it's a serious story, but the bizarre things could make it funny. And that was the fun thing as a director, trying to navigate how to keep that bizarreness in with the seriousness and not making it turn funny.
Mm-hmm. You have a cat?
Yeah.
I have a cat too here. He's white. Yours is black. Oh, hello. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. I don't think they don't quite understand what happens when I'm sitting here on this computer and I'm talking to it. You know what I mean? They just jump up and want to be involved. It doesn't matter.
Oh, is that a boy or a girl?
It's a girl.
Oh, my cat and her should meet. Marty, come here.
She's kind of old, this one. 14.
Okay. This is.
Oh, look at that. I love the all white.
Yeah, right. So this is Marty McFly.
Okay, lovely. I love that.
Yeah, he's a handsome boy. Yes, he's turning 9 next month.
Okay, yes. Yeah, this one, she's 14. She just turned 14 this year, so she's starting to, get old. She's losing some eyesight and stuff, but other than that, just loves a cuddle. She loves a cuddle.
She looks lovely. She looks fine to me. So there you go. Aw, yeah. Hi, beautiful. All right. So now we're talking about favorite playwright.
Man, I would probably have to say it's weird and it's strange because it's almost cliche, but and it's not a person that wrote a play. He wrote a musical, but it's Jonathan Larson. I don't know if I'm going to answer that question again later,
That's
but
okay. No, that's fine.
and it's not even Rent for me. It has nothing to do with Rent. When I was in university, I got to direct his first one he ever wrote. It was called Tick Tick Boom, and it
Uh-huh.
was originally written as a one-man monologue musical, and that's how it had been originally, penned and put on paper. But after he died and the success of Rent, I want to say, don't quote quote me on this, I could be wrong, but I want to say it was Stephen Aramis, who's a pretty big composer and arranger, took
Mm-hmm.
that original Tick Tick Boom one-man monologue and kind of reamped it and made it a three-person, one-act musical. So I did it, and it's just the poetry the man had with lyrics and being able to fade back and forth between dialogue and lyric. He was a real genius, and he just died way too early because we didn't get to see anything else that he was able to put out there, because both of the things that he did put out there were magnificent.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, what is your favorite musical then? I know it's a hard question for a musical lover. Surely it's more than one, but
I guess I could go off of probably the top of my list to direct, and that would be Next to Normal.
Mhm.
Um, I I stage managed it when I was in university. We had a summer repertory theater, professional summer repertory theater that we did in the summers, and I stage managed it. But it's like not what you think a musical is. It's sad, it's dark,
Mm.
it's very,
Mhm.
very difficult themes to deal with, but it has the most brilliant music. And I just think it is, yeah, it's I think it's underrated. I think it needs to be done more. And there's
Right.
so much fun that you could have with it, um,
Mhm.
artistically, because you could take it in so many different ways, which I love. I love the challenge as a director, finding a piece like that could go so many ways, but really
Mhm.
trying to figure out what's the best way to do it.
Mhm.
So yeah, that Next to Normal. Yep.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. Now, tell us about the work that you are the most proud of. Work that you might have done in the past or recently, but what made you the most proud?
I think so far, probably in my life, probably for a good amount of my life will be I won my Fringe festival. We were awarded an award. It was called a one-off award. There's this company. It's called Off West End, and they basically are the Olivier Awards and the Tony Awards for Off West End, the smaller
Mhm.
theaters, fringe theaters, the things like that there. And I had submitted because they had started a submitting a committee to be able to adjudicate digital shows.
Mhm.
So I had been submitting all the stuff that I had been doing through to them, because for once they were able to open it up to the world and not just limit it to London. So that's why I was putting on my stuff. And one day, it was like 3 days before my 30th birthday, I got an email from them being like, listen, we wanted to let you know there's an article going out in this magazine that's announcing, winners that we're announcing, and we're giving you one of these awards for your efforts in your Fringe festival. Um, and now the reason why it's probably going to be so special to me is when I started the Fringe festival, I expected to have maybe one event a week for the month of August. And if I got those 4 events throughout that month, I was going to be happy. I was going to be happy that I was able to do that. And then, like I told you before, we wound up going for 36 days. So it was really great, especially right before my 30th birthday, to be told I'm going to be getting an award for that. And yeah, that will go down. I actually just purchased the physical awards. They lost a lot of their funding, so they weren't, and they did the ceremony digitally, so they weren't able to give out physical awards. But they did
Mm.
ask any of the winners if they wanted to purchase one, and I was like, take my money. Take-
Sure. But you're not actually new to Fringe festivals because your production at university of Tick Tick Boom was also part of the Kennedy Center ACTF Fringe Festival. So you're not new to that.
So that is what was really great about the university I went to. It was a liberal arts college. I didn't go to a specific arts college, so I still did my maths and sciences and, you know, all that stuff.
Right. That's okay.
The collegiate community within these liberal arts colleges, within like the states around Pennsylvania and Pennsylvania included, they have the Kennedy Center College Theatre Festival, and that happens once a year. And they have people that come and adjudicate all of the main stage shows you do at university throughout the year and everything. And they select some to come and be performed at the College Theatre Festival. So I actually submitted for the Fringe, because every college theater festival has like a day where they do a small black box Fringe day. And I knew that I actually had made sure that that production was filmed as professionally as I could get it. So that I had really good evidence of it, and I just submitted it. And yeah, they asked us to come, and that was probably one of the most fun experiences I've had, because I got to revamp a show. So I got to take everything from the original production that I saw that wasn't working, and we had like 1 week to re-rehearse the whole show before we left, because we had to travel it as well. And we got to rework it and make things work that didn't work before, which was amazing. And it was sold out. Like the line out the black box went so far they had to turn people away. It was a highlight for sure.
It sounds like it. That's amazing. So
that was just university as well. You know what I mean? Nothing professional about it. I was still in my training and everything, but
that's,
you know, sometimes people say that kind of stuff from university is cliche and everything like that. But for me, that will be a defining moment for sure.
It's important. It's important. That's what sets you towards the right direction. You need these kind of things. Yes. So, Ryan, if for those who are watching us, you know, for those who want to connect with you, what's the best way to do it? Because you and I connected over Twitter, which I know you're super active on Twitter. I can see that. How can people find you?
I mean, I love keeping everything kind of social media. I would honestly prefer to organize things over a Twitter DM or an Instagram DM versus email, just because it kind of really hones in on the ethos of what the company is. So yeah, send a direct message on Twitter and Instagram. You can also send a message on Facebook. Yeah, let's chat. I'm always looking to, you know, connect with people who have any ideas or any way to work. I don't restrict anything. I just love sitting down and talking about theater. So whatever it is that anybody wants to discuss or any ideas, yeah, I'm always down.
Fantastic. Okay, well, we'll put all the links and everything in the box below, so you guys just need to click, and of course get in touch and please connect, because our world needs more storytelling, I believe. And Ryan, I'm sure you agree with me. So thank you so much, Ryan. This was Ryan Thornhill from Thornhill Theatre Space. And thank you so much for being with us. And for us, this was Nicole Gabellini from Aurora Theatre. This was the Interview Diaries. Now, if you like our channel, if you like our shows and interviews, please get in touch. If you would like to join us over an interview, if you are a theatre practitioner, artist, director, whatever you are, please get in touch and we'll invite you for a chat. And don't forget to give us a thumb up or subscribe. Thank you so much. Great to have you, Ryan.
Hey, thank you so much for having me on, and congratulations to you and your company on your new YouTube series. I watch it every week and it's been great so far.
Thank you. Thank you for watching. All right, guys, we'll be out again soon. Thank you for being with us tonight.